Welcome back to Students Math Corner. I'm your host, Brandon Reed, and as always, if this is your first time to the channel, a special welcome to you. Well, it's a new week and we have a new lesson. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Today's lesson, types of triangles. So, we're going to be shifting gears and we're going to be talking about different types of triangles. And there are different types of triangles. There isn't just one type. There are different names for the triangles as well. Today we're going to focus on three: acute, right, and obtuse. Now, you may have heard these before, and if you have, then this will be a refresher. But if you haven't heard about them, then I'm going to talk about them right now. So these are the three different types of triangles that we're going to be looking at. The first is an acute triangle. An acute triangle is a triangle with 3 degrees that are less than 90 degrees. We call it an acute triangle because look at it. It's just so dang cute. Look at it. Just so small. Look at it. Oh, it's great. No, but in reality, an acute triangle has angles that are less than 90 degrees. A right triangle is a triangle with a 90-degree angle, and an obtuse triangle is a triangle with at least 1 degree more than 90 degrees. Whenever I think of obtuse, I think of obese, a triangle that has just eaten too much food. And because of that, he has an angle more than 90 degrees. Now, let's identify the different types of triangles based upon their degrees. So let's take a look at this first one. What type of triangle is this? Triangle ABC is more than 90 degrees. Is it an acute, a right, or an obtuse triangle? If you said it's an obtuse triangle, you are correct because it's more than 90 degrees. And obtuse triangles have a degree more than 90. What about the next one? A triangle QRS is equal to 90 degrees. If you said that's a right triangle, you are correct because right triangles have an angle that is 90 degrees. And then here's our last one. Triangle WXY is less than 90 degrees. If you said acute, you are correct because of acute triangles have three angles that are less than 90 degrees. Now, being able to identify them in a word problem is pretty easy, but what if you had to identify them from a picture? So here's our first picture. What type of triangle is this? If you said a right triangle, you are correct, because even though we don't know what these angles are, what the degrees of these angles are, we do know that this angle is 90 degrees, and right triangles have a 90-degree angle. Good job. Let's take a look at this one. If you said acute, you are correct because acute triangles have three angles that are less than 90 degrees. This is 79, this is 89, and this is 12. None of them are above 90, which makes this an acute triangle. And then here's our last one. If you said an obtuse triangle, you are correct. Why? Well, because even though we don't know the degrees of these angles, we know that this angle is more than 90 degrees. It's 95 degrees. So any triangle that has at least one angle that's more than 90 degrees will make it an obtuse triangle. And that's it. That is how you identify the different types of triangles. And as I said, there are many different types of triangles, but we just focused on those three. And now that you know the differences between them, you can identify them on math homework. So if you liked what you saw, you're new to the channel, or you learned something new, please click that like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And as always, if you have questions or comments about the video, or there's a particular math problem that you might need some help with, feel free to drop a line in the comments section and I'd be happy to help. And until next time, class dismissed.